everybody. My name is David with the AHCP training team, and today we have another edition of Motivation Monday. I'll start off with a little quote. The bad news is time flies. The good news is you are the pilot by Michael Altschuler. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Welcome, everybody. We're going to get started. Today's agenda for Motivation Monday is we're going to have a tip of the week. One that may have been seen before. It's a good one. Oldie but a goodie. We have some sales shout outs, and we're going to talk about 8 traits of great insurance professionals. So let's start off with our 5 steps of getting organized. I know we're into the new year now. Some people are past their very busy time, and it's time to kind of get settled and organized for the new year. Number 1, email cleanup. Clean up your email inbox, go through, delete things you don't need anymore. Second, review your contacts and client database, or if you have a CRM system. Another is clean and organize your office space. 4, wipe your slate clean. Take a moment to reflect on last year and move forward. And number 5, make a goal or a resolution, write it down, review it at the end of the week before you break for the weekend. All right. Let's go into some shout outs for last week's performance. For February 9, we had short-term medical, Golden Rule, and Pivot. Limited medical, we had Golden Rule as our top performer. For accident, NHIC, dental, United Healthcare, and Medicare RX, Aetna. So for some individual performances last week, short-term medical, Kimberly Leichert, Jacob Gordon, and Brandon Combs. For accident, Brandon Combs, also William Cox. And for critical illness, Richard Banville and New Stephen. Nice job, everybody. Great work. Let's start off with our 8 tips for insurance professionals. Number 1, always put your client's needs first. Lower commission sometimes leads to more commission down the road. So don't think of that short-term gain. Look for things down the road. Next, always be advocating for your client. I mean, if they get a high renewal, look into different ways where you can help alleviate that increase. Be proactive, like I just mentioned before. Look at other options, explore for future needs, and always be listening and be on top of your client's needs and priorities. Good customer service. Be responsive. That's big. Clients, when they need something, it's always they need it yesterday. So have a 24-hour turnaround time in email and same-day return for call. If you do communicate through text, that would be treated the same way as calling. Also, do what you say or will do, and when you say will do it. That's always very, very important. There's a lot of details with these policies. So making sure you set appropriate deadlines, and if you can't meet the deadline, always provide a why behind that. And always be advocating for your client. And be proactive. I just mentioned this before, but I mean, if you see they have a very high renewal, maybe run some preliminary quotes for them in the background and see what kind of comes up. So when they, they're going to call you if they have a high renewal, and have some options readily available to have them look at. Emotional intelligence, always be listening, empathize situations when they come up, and help your client really see the financial clarity. They're going to probably be dead set against you. They're always going to be looking for that lower premium, but it probably will not meet their needs. So show them the whys, look at their situation. If you're recommending something with a higher cost, and always act on your client's best interest. This one, kind of speaks for itself, but you want to have a high energy level. So, salespeople, have you ever met a really boring salesperson? Probably not. You always want to appear to be excited, eager. A worn down agent where it's going to rub clients off the wrong way and will trigger them not to want to buy from you. Another thing for those people who are probably thinking like, hey, I'm not naturally high energy. Like, what do I do? Well, bring yourself at least a step above or match your client's level. Successful salespeople are approachable and have good energy. Honestly, this should be the number 1 of the entire list. But if you sell something isn't right, it will always come back to bite you. If you know there's a hidden objection that you did not, the named preliminary of cover, it's going to come back out later. Bringing back what we mentioned before, a quick commission now isn't worth losing their business, first of all, but just even commissions now. There's a stat out there, it might even be higher than this now, but people will share a bad experience to 3 times more people than a good one. And in our line of work, I mean, word of mouth is everything. Ask yourself, if I was in this client's position, is this actually the best solution? Would I buy this? I mean, that's an important thing. You're looking at the solution, what would I buy? Persistence. I mean, you don't want to just take no as an answer, but you want to uncover the real reason behind the no, right? It's the most vital quality of any agent. You will get rejected a lot. So do it with a smile and be able to handle objections. Like I mentioned before, I mean, if they say no, there's probably, it might be a maybe, it might be a no, but find out why and see if you can overcome the why behind the no. Product knowledge. You do need to know the ins and outs of your products. So that's really important. Be able to really have a kind of a client profile for each product, if you will. Here's another really good best practice. If you have a client and there's several options out there, have a good, better, and best option for them, and that helps them make the decision. So don't provide 9 different options because that's gonna be just too hard to make a decision. You'll most likely get the objection of I'll take a look at it and get back to you, which has a very low close percentage. But go through the good, go through the better, and go through the best with them. And when questions come up, you've got to know your resources. That's very important. Knowing where to go for what. Here's a really important one for people in our line of work is, questions are going to come up, but if you answer it and you aren't 100% sure of the answer, if it's like, I think it's this, it's always okay to get back to them with the right answer. Be like, hey, let me look into this question for you. I'm going to get back to you, make sure I give you a confident, correct answer. And lastly, the technical know-how. I mean, know the tax and legal aspects of each product you sell. No, really important to know your client's financial position. If you're recommending something that does require a much higher premium, can they afford it? Will they keep it? Right? You want to get paid on it, right? But not only that, just if it's something more expensive, is it going to save them money in the long run, right? What impacts is it going to have to them in the long run? Also, going back to something I mentioned before, where to go with technical questions. I mean, know your resources. Know the resources that you have at your fingertips when questions come up. A really good one is doing like a quarterly review or maybe twice a year review, whatever cadence you want to get into, but going through their explanation of benefits is really important to really, help them understand. If you're doing health plans, right? Knowing what deductible is, knowing when co-insurance kicks in, letting them know where their network is, right? Letting them know where they can go in parts of their network for what. Talk about the drug prescription benefits, right? If you're selling a health plan, just for example. That's really important stuff. So when things do happen, I mean, when a claim happens, it's very stressful for clients. You want them to make sure they know how to use their insurance, right? How to use their plan, how to make a claim, right? And how to do it. Maybe even offer when you have a claim that comes up. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what you need to do. And that's really how you really provide a great resource to your clients. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, I know we went through some of this stuff quickly. If you have any questions, you can go to training@ahcpsales.com or you can call agency services at 877-228-8773. Hope everyone has a great rest of their Monday and have a great day.